Coming into Turkey, you can really feel the tension building. GPs are running out, races are running out, and stakes are higher. You've got Lucas Coenen chasing Kai de Wolf. He's running out of time. And you've also got Jorge Prado. He's chasing Tim Gajser, but he's also running out of time. And you can really feel the tension, and you can see the intensity now in the racing. We're at the crucial stage now, so whatever happens in these remaining races are definitely going to shape the conclusion of our championships.
The beauty with MX2 is there are about half a dozen riders who can get in the mix there. You've got the Red Bull KTM's Liam Everts, won in Turkey last year, and he's on form as well, looking really good. Andrea Adamo still hasn't won a GP yet as reigning champion. That's got to burn for him. He will be highly motivated. Simon Langenfelder sits third in the championship and still has not won a Grand Prix since 2023. So there are lots of riders there that are highly motivated. They want to make themselves known, not just for the fact that next year's contracts are getting ready, but also the fact that for some of them, MXGP is going to be beckoning. Mikael Harrop, for example, another rider who has to go to MXGP next year, he will really want to take this advantage of trying to get an MX2 win, as well as really put the cherry on the cake for Monster Energy Triumph Racing in their first season. If he could get a victory, that would really be a fantastic accomplishment for that team, and they all know it as well.
And it's Langenfelder, I think. It's very close between him and Harrop.
One thing Lucas Coenen needed was a little bit of luck on his side, and I think he got it.
Oh, and Harp's down, and Zanke goes with him, and the championship leader's caught up in it as well.
Kai, he was already on the back foot and did a great job working his way back to fourth. Up front, though, you had Simon Langenfelder leading the way. Lucas was pushing, and several times he got close, but wasn't able to find a way through. And then with about 2 laps to go, he finally made that move in the right-hand turn that he tried on 1 or 2 occasions before.
Ah, Lucas Coenen somehow, again, pulls a rabbit out of the hat.
And once he made that move on Langenfelder, it broke the resolve of the German, and he was able to go on and win comfortably. But what that meant in the championship was another 7 points in the back pocket for the Belgian. So if he wanted to go out and win every race, he was 2/3 of the way there with the quali win and, of course, the win in race 1. Race 2 was an absolute cracker. The 2 Husqvarna riders, again, were literally side by side as they came over the foxhole shot line.
And de Wolf trying to lean in. Langenfelder legging his way through that inside, but it might have been de Wolf with the foxhole shot.
Going into turn 2, Kai took over, and from there we thought, okay, will Lucas just sit there for a little bit and bide his time? Well, we got the answer towards the end of lap 1, because from out of nowhere, Quentin Prunier, he split the 2 Nissan Husqvarnas at the end of the first lap. It's like, where did that come from, Quentin?
And a little bit of bar banging exchange there between Prunier and Coenen.
Brought his A game to Turkey, absolutely. And he stayed there for maybe 5 or 6 laps. And that was a real problem for Coenen, because whilst he was there in third, Kai was just sneaking away at the head of the field.
De Wolf finally breaks free, 3 seconds clear, 3.2 in fact. Right, Lucas Coenen finally gets the drive out of that turn, finds his way past Prunier, moves into second position. Harrop looking to go around the outside as they hit the line, gives him space to manoeuvre as well. And Hart does go through into third place.
Once Lucas found his way past the Frenchman, then he started putting in quick laps after succession and started to reel in Kai. But was he going to run out of time? He left it so late.
Lucas Coenen, fastest rider on track, fastest lap of the race. Less than a second between the top two though. Here they are. Where is the opportunity going to come? Might be here. Outside, inside, dives down the inside. He does find his way and looks across, closes down the exit. De Wolf gets pushed back into second position. Perfectly timed. Lucas Coenen leads on the final lap.
Some of that was Kai just saying, okay, you can have it, but also you got to give your hat and give credit to Lucas because he worked for that race win. He went into the weekend saying, I have to win, I have to take as many points as possible. He did that.
Lucas Coenen has broke the resolve of his teammate. He goes 1-1. He wins the MXGP of Turkey.
Going into China, his championship is very much back on track. Had he not had the results on the weekend that he had, there's potential for Kai to have an easier run at the title as we go to China.
Timo Langenfelder, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing, picking up third overall this weekend. But Lucas Coenen, with his 8th career victory, his 14th podium in MX2, and he closes the gap down on what has been a big day in the championship. 2 rounds to go, the gap down to 44 points. It's still very much game on in MX2.
Coming into Turkey in the MXGP class, Tim Gajser now has an 18-point lead over Jorge Prado after his 1-1 in Switzerland, which was just stunning. And that was a big weekend for Tim and had massive implications and ramifications maybe for the championship because he could not afford Prado to gain even more ground with, 2 or 3 rounds still to go. But heading into Turkey, that gap, 18 points, gives him just enough of a buffer in case he doesn't win the GP or Prado arrives with his A game. Coming into the MXGP of Turkey, Tim Gajser's lead originally was 18 points, but after he won the Ram qualifying race on Saturday, he extended it by a point. So heading into race 1, Gajser now 19 points clear of the Spaniard.
On his 28th birthday, Tim Gajser lines up to start his 200th Grand Prix. He currently leads Jorge Prado by 19 points. All eyes on Prado on the Red Bull Gas as he hopes to make a dent in that championship lead. Jeffrey Herlings takes his position behind the gate. Alongside him to his left, Jorge Prado, who makes his 145th Grand Prix start. 5-second borders turn. A good, clean getaway, almost. Bevra upside down, he tangled bars, I think, with Herling.
It was Jeremy Seewer who grabbed the foxhole shot and ran away with victory in race 1. Unchallenged by around about 6 or 7 seconds. The kid was on fire, and that was great for him, great for Kawasaki, because it was his first race victory since race 1 Switzerland back in 2023, 4 or 5 rounds towards the end of the season. So a long overdue race win for Seewer. But behind him, all eyes are on that battle for the championship.
Guadagnini in 4th, and Renault going from 5th to 3rd as he makes his way into turn 4, the left-hander. An explosive start to MXGP race 1.
Tim Gajser quickly got shuffled back to 4th. Prado got himself into 3rd. He couldn't find his way past Maxime Renault. And it was frustrated. There was one time in the left-hander after the Ram triple into the left, turn 5, turn 6. Renault made a mistake and Prado tried to get on the gas around the outside. He got shut down by the Frenchman.
A frustrated Spaniard once more, but he's gonna have to rough him up.
And had he found his way past Renault, could he have then gone on and made it past Jeremy Seewer? The answer was no, and that has had, again, massive implications for his championship run because there could have been more points on offer, another 5 points over Gajser, but he wasn't able to make that pass stick on Maxime Renault, who was out there racing for himself. Obviously, he wants to hold himself accountable. He wants to win races, wants to win Grand Prix, He's getting himself ready for the Motocross of Nations. So why should he just move over and let the championship guys come through? You know, it doesn't make sense. Jorge Prado was frustrated, and we saw that when he crossed the finish line as well. First he tugged at his pants and then threw his goggles down in disgust. And it turns out afterwards his pants came undone on the first lap. So that there's nothing worse than that, because it feels like your pants are falling down. But a rock must have shattered one of the laminates on the side of the goggle, because he couldn't have access then to any tear-offs, and he couldn't grab the tabs. So then he was riding almost without visibility. So a double whammy for him, and a let-off possibly for Tim Gajser, in the fact that he was fourth and Prado probably could have made his way to the front. Do you want to talk about Jeffrey Hurlings going down and effectively, yeah, because he finished 10th. One of the biggest surprises with Jeffrey Hurlings, there was a dramatic start. We got Jeffrey, Roman Febvre, Ruben Fernandez, all came together. Febvre crashed down the start straight. Jeffrey got tangled up in it, but if you watch as he goes around the first turn, he holds himself to the inside, and then by the time he exits turn 2, he's in the mix in around about 6th or 7th place. But at the start of lap 2, at the end of pit lane, he just folded the front in a corner.
Oh, and Hurlings is tipped over. That's in turn 2. Does he lose the front end? Yes, he does. He cross-ruts. He goes down.
But what we didn't know at the time was he fell and he caught his arm on the exhaust pipe. These things are titanium, so they burn the skin and they burn through the race shirt. That's exactly what happened to Jeffrey Hurlings. The shirt was melting into the skin, and of course he would have felt that stinging pain sensation for the rest of the race. So no wonder he was slow picking himself up, but he battled on. He finished 10th, but effectively losing those kind of points. Again, that championship now is slipping further and further away from Hurlings' grasp. Race 2 was a much better start for Jorge Prado, and on his 145th Grand Prix start, came away with his 145th Foxhole shot, unbelievably, his 15th of the season. And of course, when he gets into that frame of mind, he's not going to relinquish that. He led every single lap. Tim Gajser pushed him all the way, but wasn't able to find a way through. Not for the lack of trying, I don't think. But also Jeffrey Hurlings, whilst he was there in third, he had that kind of concertina effect, really. It'd get onto the back wheel of Tim and then lose ground, back and forth. And when he crossed the line in third place, and more than 50 points down, I think 53 points down now on the lead, Tim Gajser, effectively with 2 rounds to go, you have to assume that his title chance has gone. It's not over, because mathematically it's still possible, but the form that Jorge and Tim are in, and the fact they've had no mechanical DNFs, it's not likely to happen anytime soon, you know, in terms of the technical side of things. Of course, they can DNF in a first-turn crash like anybody can, but realistically, you would have to imagine now Jeffrey's going to China thinking, all right, you know, championship's done. The best I can hope for is second, but even second now is looking further and further away. So, you know, the top 3, it was fun while it lasted. 3 riders, you know, with 3, 4, 5 rounds to go, but heading to the crunch end with 2 to go, we are, I think, looking at a 2-horse race now for this MXGP title in 2024.
Third overall, and just his second visit to the podium in 2024. Kawasaki Racing Team, MXGP's Jeremy Seewer, a win in race 1, a 6 in race 2. Second overall, Tim Gajser, Team HRC, a 4th and a 2nd for Tim Gajser. But Jorge Prado, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing, stands on the top step of the podium. He's all smiles. Your overall winner, a 3rd and a 1st, his 2nd overall victory here. But Tim Gajser arrived here with the championship leaders red plate. It was 18 at the start of the weekend, down to 14 now.
For the penultimate round of the 2024 season, we're at the Oriental Beauty Valley MXGP of China. We're at the Shanghai International Off-Road Circuit. And it's actually the furthest east we've ever been. It's even further east than Indonesia. And it is so nice to be here in Shanghai. It's such a magical city, and many of the teams and riders came straight here from Turkey. They were tourists around the city, and we're really profiting from being here and just lapping up the Chinese culture. You come to the circuit, the first thing you see is huge posters of our 2023 reigning world champions. You've got Jorge Prado on the wall of the building here at the circuit, and Andrea Adamo. And you can tell it's a big deal for China to have MXGP in town, because it's the first time we've been here since 2019. So they really want to make the effort for us, and they really want to put on a good show this weekend.
The one thing that's going to hit them as soon as they land is going to be the heat is absolutely extreme when there is no cloud cover and the humidity is off the scale, more like a Florida-style heat. In MX2, let's say, Kai de Wolf, who's going for the championship, how he deals with the heat. Is he going to lose points to his closest rival, who's proved to be very good in the heat, certainly in Indonesia in the past, Lucas Coenen? And the battle at the top of the championship in MXGP between Tim Gajser, Jorge Prado, and Jeffrey Hurlings. Hurlings, as we've previously mentioned, might be out of the championship chase in many aspects, but mathematically it's still possible. But in all reality, it's going to be a two-rider battle going forward.
So how is your Chinese now?
It's pretty good. I was just talking with the two girls over here, like we are speaking about daily life, normal things, but I'm going pretty good actually. Teaching.
Yeah, I had a pretty big change actually last winter. I moved from Italy to Belgium to standing construct, and yeah, we started winter there, and then we moved to Portugal to train with Stefan Everts, and then yeah, everything was going pretty good actually. We were all like pretty happy and pumped. Training was going good, everything was good. I was doing really great. But yeah, then training before Spain GP, I had a huge crash in France. I hit one tree, like I jumped completely off the track and I hit one tree, like big time, and I broke 8 ribs, one collapsed lung, but like the ribs were completely destroyed. At the beginning, they saved my life. I didn't know that, but then the morning after, they came to me and they explained me everything, and I was pretty shocked about it, because for me it was like 5 minutes, but it was 7 hours. And they did me this surgery, like 4 or 5 hour surgery, and everything went super. So they put like springs in the ribs, and that should help. It's going quite good actually at the moment. From there on was a big journey till now. Like 4 months off, and then from one bed to get back to walk, to get back to train, and then and now racing. And I'm pretty happy actually, because I've been better and better every weekend, so I still keep going like this, and let's hope for the best.
I spoke to Albie in a paddock talk when he made his return back to racing in Lockett, and although he was still laughing and joking...
Now better, Albie, come on. I've seen you do better this winter. See? A lot.
I saw a totally different person. His character had changed. He seemed a lot more serious behind his smile, and you can tell that the injuries and the journey that he'd went through changed him. And I think he's a better person for it. He's a lot more mature, he's a lot more appreciative of life, and also of riding his bike. And he definitely was so happy to be given this second opportunity to do what he loved doing.
At the moment, I'm feeling like pretty okay. Last year I was feeling pretty good, especially in the end. I'm still not there, but I'm getting back to. Not much to say. It was just like this pretty tough one. But now I'm getting back, and race by race I feel always better and better. So I'm pretty confident, and yeah, I'm close to that level now. But I think I can go much more.
So we're just moments away then from the MXGP free practice, which will be 15 minutes of free and then 20 minutes of time and then the 5 minutes of start straight practice. There is the number 303 standing construct Honda there of Alberto Forato. Looking good actually on his return. Riders out on track, so we'll have a couple of minutes of lull then for the MXGP riders. A lot of these riders have been here in the past before, of course. Tim Gajser, Jorge Prado, Jeffrey Hurlings. Tim Gajser was already newly crowned coming into this round back in 2019, which was the last time we were here.
So what's the track like in China? Well, the circuit layout, the footprint is exactly the same. The jumps are all in the same position. But if you weren't with us in 2019, it's quite loamy. The ground is quite heavy, quite not sandy, but it's very loose on top. It's not a hard pack track, that's for sure. So it will get technical, it will get rutty and heavy. I think we're pretty much at sea level here, so no problems with altitude and the bikes running sort of sick, like potentially they were in Turkey.
But Tim Gajser looking like the first rider really to just start to up the tempo ever so slightly here.
But it's a short start straight here into a 180 right. In fact, it's more than 180. It kind of comes back round on itself before it straightens up. So is there a risk of riders going into that first turn with their foot off the brake and then they're leading to problems?
And Tim Gajser, there he is just down there in pit lane. He would have seen now Prado do a 138.215 from down there in pit lane. He has to take a breather and dig deep and try and do something about the number one. Down past pit lane into the Monster Energy finish line jump. Roman Fevre, does he improve on fourth? Yes, he does. He goes to provisional pole and is the first rider below 138, a 137.650. Here's Tim Gajser, your championship leader. Green, green, green in sector 3. Currently in fourth, he hits the line now, and Gajser goes pole, 137.592, the second rider to move into the 37s.
But it's going to be challenging. The heat, the humidity, a good start is going to be crucial as always, but it is going to be technical. It's quite jumpy, but at the same time, the riders are used to these kind of jumps now. MXGP have been running these types of circuits for many, many years now.
Where is Jorge Prado? He's in the final sector, making his way down past pit lane at the moment. Here he goes, Jorge Prado. Does he go top? Yes, he does. On the final lap, a 137.545. Prado topples Gajser on the final lap with just seconds to spare. Advantage to Jorge Prado, the defending champion.
For stuff, already really hot. Yeah, track is really flat and wide open. No bumps, no lines, nothing. Just flat out and yeah, not much to do. Like not really good lap time for me, but yeah. Try to bounce back for the motos after and really hot. It's gonna be a tough one.
Starts and humidity and how you prepare yourself mentally, physically is going to be an absolute key for the Grand Prix in China.
There is no form guide for MX2 coming into the Oriental Beauty Valley MXGP of China because none of the riders have been here before. The last round was 5 years ago and most of them were too young to even have been in Grand Prix back then. So it's then you've got to look who can perform the most in the heat and the humidity. And again, in Indonesia, one weekend was Kay de Wolf's, one weekend was Lucas Coenen's, and many of the other riders could compete and cope with it. So it is a complete open form book coming into this one. And again, you've really got to look at who's got the most to prove, who wants it the most, and even who is just better prepared coming in to the week. So yeah, it's a wide open environment for what could happen in MX2. There's a 44-point gap between Kay de Wolf and Lucas Coenen. Kay de Wolf has got a real chance of making that ground up and clinching the championship in China. But of course, Lucas will be massively fired up. He knows that better than anybody. For sure, you cannot count on that. I personally believe it will go right to the final round. But who knows, MX2 has been, despite the obvious thing where Kay de Wolf has held the red plate all season, in the races, MX2 has been wildly unpredictable, which has been one of the best things about it.
Then it's going to be Lucas Coenen who grabs the first foxhole shot of the afternoon, and it's his third of the season. Lucas Coenen leads the way. He knows all he has to do is go out and win every single race if he can, and then leave everything else to chance. He's gained another 4/10 in this sector alone, hitting his lines, hitting his marks, unfazed by everything going around him. It's easier to chase than to lead in this kind of championship battle, if you like. Wow, look at that dark rain cloud coming in over on the horizon there. Hopefully that sails past, but it might be due over here a little later on in the day. But Lucas Coenen extending his lead over Langenfelder now to 4.083 seconds. Concentration level being absolutely on point. The Astana rider has led right from the very first lap. Lucas Coenen wins race 1, his 15th race win of the season, and he does it in fine style as well, and closes down the gap on Kai de Wolf, who crosses the line here in third place. De Wolf losing 5 points in the championship chase. Tim Gajser heads into race 1, 14 points clear of Jorge Prado. 30 minutes plus 2, MXGP race 1. About 80 metres down into that first turn. Good reaction there for Prado, and he leaves Gajser in his wake.